Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be doing a little pond fishing. As you can tell, we're fishing from the shore. I just did a video recently talking about all the pond fishing essentials that you need for doing what we're going to be doing today. That was kind of a precursor to today's video where we're going to go out there and fish. So as you can tell, we got our watermelon red dream shot on a drop shot here. That's what we're going to be starting with. And what we're going to be doing today is basically breaking down how to pond fish, what you need to be looking for, how you need to be fishing. Basically, if you show up to a pond, what you need to do to break down that body of water to make sure you're catching more fish. So the first thing I did before I even started fishing, I came up here to this pond. This is a very, very public pond. It's actually a community park pond. It's all catch and release. These fish are probably very pressured. I've never been here before. It's the only one I found with public access. I'm used to fishing out of my bass boat, so I'm not used to doing bank fishing. I've done it when I was a kid, but a lot's changed in the 10 years since I've been bank fishing. So what we did is we walked up to this pond, and the first thing that I'm going to look for is areas of change or places that these fish could be that I feel would be high percentage areas for them to be at. So first things that I noticed when I walked up here, there's an island out in the middle here, so we might fish that a little bit later. Like, I kind of just picked out general areas. We're going to work our way around the pond and see what we can do. There's an island out in front of me. I have shade all down this bank because that's which way the sun is setting right now. So most of the fish can start, if in the morning they might start on that side of the lake over there where the shade hits better, and then in the afternoon they might actually work their way over to this side because there's more shade, more places for them to live. They're going to use that shade, especially in the summer, because that's just going to be the cooler water. Not by a lot, but enough that they'll want to be on that side rather than the other side. So that's one area that I looked for as well. The other thing I looked for is over here is the end of the pond. Anytime you have a corner, a point, anything irregular like that, there will almost always be fish in those general areas, especially if you have a mix of things like shade and a corner and a point or any of that kind of stuff together. There's also a dock over here, and this is the head of the pond, so any rain runoff comes in up this way. So you have a lot of things going on in one general area. That's mostly what you're looking for. If you're fishing a big body of water like a lake or something, you might look for a big point and different defined features. But in a pond like this, you're not really looking for defined features. You're just looking for the smallest little bit of change that those fish can be in. So this tiny little pocket back here with some shade, some rock on the bottom, a dock, there's probably bluegills down there, that can hold a fish. So that's my number one tip when looking in a body of water like this, is just look for areas of change. It can be the smallest, most subtle thing, but that can draw all the fish in a pond just because it's all that they have. There's not a lot of area for them to live, not a lot of places for those fish to go. So you got to look for the tiniest little areas of change that can draw a fish in. I'm actually watching bluegills try and get up on the bank here and eat bugs, so I know that there's bait around here. So basically, I'm not really using a heavy search bait or anything like that. I'm just using my drop shot to try and get bites and see if there's fish in the area. This isn't a very big pond. It's not going to take me a long time to fish around it, so you have to fish slowly and maximize your time and efficiency in those areas, because this is all the water you have to fish. So let's get to fishing a little bit and see if we can catch us a couple out of this pond and see what we can learn together. All right, nothing there. Let's make us a little move. We'll go back towards this dock and that pocket, see if we can get us a couple back there. Did have us a bite off the dock. He took my worm. I don't know if it was a bluegill or a bass, but we'll find out. We'll get another worm and get back in there. You also notice that I'm throwing almost all of my casts either at the bank or next to a piece of cover, and that's solely because that's the cover that those fish have to live in. I will occasionally throw a couple out into the lake a little bit further and see if there's something out there that those fish might be holding on. But 9 times out of 10, those fish are going to be right on the bank, so make your casts a parallel with the bank either direction. Make a couple out into the middle and then start moving your way around the pond, and that's the way that I really like to approach it. So we're going to throw right back over here and see if we can get us another one off this dock, or at least another bite. See if maybe we can land them this time. So I'm actually seeing a lot of fish busting on the top. I think they're bluegills, but if there's that much action around, I think we're going to switch up our bait and try either a fluke or a popper and see if we can get a bite doing that. There we go. Wow, that one is tiny. But we got one already. Switched up to the fluke. Probably my favorite pond fishing bait of all time because it catches fish no matter how big or small, like this guy right here. I think there's a couple other nicer ones in this little trash mat back here with him, but we'll throw him back, see if we can get us another one. There's like, all the wind is pushing back into here, and there's some bait fish. I can't tell what kind they are. They might be bluegills, baby bluegills, whatever, little balls of fry that are pushed into this little mat right here. And there's a bunch of cover over top of their heads. It's the only overhead cover in this entire pond that they can have right here. That's just little scum line, but all the wind is pushing it back in here. And there is a lot of fish that I've seen just kind of poking around in here. A couple of them blowing up on these balls of bait. So we'll see if we can get us another one in here, working this fluke around. There we go. That's a better one there. On the fluke as well. Not a giant by any means, but just working this fluke down around the bank. Getting some bites. Like I said, work your bait down parallel with the banks and you'll catch a lot more bass. I was just fishing right over there, threw my drop shot out in the middle a whole bunch of times, caught nothing. Threw my fluke over there and caught a little guy. Not a giant, but better for this pond because there's not a lot of big ones in here. So we're gonna throw him back, see if we can get us a couple more. Another one. They like the fluke, I guess. And we'll stick with throwing it. That was sweet. I mean, he wrecked that right by the bank. Not a bad one, but we'll throw him back, get us another one. Another important thing about pond fishing is making a very good cast because you can ruin that entire stretch of bank with a bad cast if you actually like do something wrong, get a snag, something like that. Oh, I just had one destroy it. So that's what you want to pay attention to, is just making a good cast the first time. Don't get in a rush. Just take your time, work your way around the bank. Like I said, you have limited, like that's on the ground. That's not what I want. You have limited time or limited area of water that you can actually fish and there be fish in. So you want to be very thorough with it and you want to be very good with your casts. So let's actually calm down here and get one in the lake where it's supposed to be, like that. And then we'll go ahead and just work it down this bank and see if we can get another bass to come grab this. Well, unfortunately, that's gonna do it for the day. We're gonna have to head home. Like I said, today's 4th of July. So we're gonna go home, have some dinner with the family. Just wanted to get out here and film one more video before I went off to ICAST, and then we'll be back in action when I get back from Florida. We should have our boat back and be filming a bunch of videos. If you guys enjoyed the bank fishing content and want to see more pond fishing videos or other stuff like that, let me know down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and check out this video right here if you want to see those key baits that you need to be throwing right now. Like I said, keep it simple on your bait selection, fish down the banks. A lot of the structure that those fish are going to live on in a pond are right up against the bank, and find those key areas, those little subtle differences, and you'll be catching a bunch more pond fish in no time. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and thanks for watching.